Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I got a new setup to make my videos. I have a microphone and I have a tripod and a light. So trying to increase the production value. You may have to bear with me as I get all this stuff figured out. I don't really know much about technology. Let's talk about topic today about when is the right time? When's the right time? The right time is now. A lot of people are sitting around waiting for the right time. A lot of fucking depressed people. I was talking with a guy the other day and he's telling me how depressed he was, and it's just common. A lot of people are depressed right now. And the first thing I asked him was, tell me about your daily schedule. And he didn't have much of one. He's in between jobs and he's kind of sitting around, and I asked him, then how do you structure your day? Do you have a structure for your day? He didn't really have one. He said, I just wake up and or just kind of go through the motions, just kind of figure out how to make it through until I go to bed. I said, well, that's not good. You got to get on top of some daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. And I gave him some ideas of where he can get busy, make a schedule for himself, make lists. These things will bring you out of depression. Having a life of purpose, daily purpose, gives you meaning in your life, and it will lift you out of your depression. Movement, action will bring you out of your depression. He kept making excuses. One excuse after another why he couldn't do anything. So I'm analyzing his excuses as he's making them, and I realized that, sure, maybe some of it is just a cop-out, some of it is just laziness, some of it is this kind of wounded bird sitting on the side of the road, like a pouting child, we all have that when we get depressed, but I realized that he's waiting for the right time to act. He doesn't want to get in the gym because the time doesn't feel right. He doesn't want to read a book, the time doesn't feel right. He doesn't want to start eating well, the time doesn't feel right. He doesn't want to stop smoking because the time doesn't feel right. He doesn't want to stop drinking because the time doesn't feel right. Go on with it. The time's never going to be right, motherfucker. You got to jump in that cold water. You warm up as you go, as you swim. I've gone through this in so many different ways with my business. If I would have waited for the time to be right, it never would have happened. When's the time going to be right? You can just analyze it to death with the market and my particular knowledge, the amount of money that I have, the opportunity around me. You can go through all these and make pretty valid excuses. Pretty good ones. So some people have really good excuses. They're tight. They've thought it out. It's a good excuse for why they shouldn't act. And sometimes you just got to do it anyways. The economy's bad. You don't have any money. So what? Do it anyways. What do you have to lose? Except for a dream. I may not get to a level of success that I fantasize about. But when I die, if I'm lucky to have anybody show up at my funeral, when I die, people will say, at the very least, they'll be able to say, that motherfucker tried. You gotta try. The time is now. This can be transferred into a lot of different areas. I realized one time with this woman that I was dating, this chick Gina, who was out in Los Angeles. I had met her through some friends. She was a UFC fighter. Not at the time. At the time, she was Layla Ali's sparring partner, and she was training in UFC with somebody else, in mixed martial arts with somebody else. But she hadn't joined the UFC brand yet. She later did. She's a pretty kick-ass chick, real pretty. We were on our third date, and it was Christmas, many years ago. And I had been playing the gentleman with her. I hadn't touched her. We had maybe held hands, but that was it. We both went up to the, neither of us had anything to do on Christmas. So we went up to the farmer's market in the Fairfax district in Los Angeles. And I love the farmer's market. I like that whole little area. It's like the Jewish part of town. I always like that area. It's a nice little area. And the farmer's market has like a Christmas parade, and they got all kinds of stuff to do. It's packed with people. We parked across the street. That way we didn't have to validate our fucking parking or pay for parking or anything like that. And I walk her over to her car. This is like our third date, second or third date. And I was a little nervous, it felt awkward. I didn't know when I was gonna make my move. I had been thinking about, when can I make my move on this chick and kiss her and take things to that next level. You know, add a little bit of intimacy into the mix. I never found the right time. We went, got all the way back to her car. She's like, well, see ya. And I say, hey, wait. And I go up to her, I grab her, and I kissed her. And I guess I kissed her hard. She wasn't expecting it all. She was shocked. We talked about this later, after we started dating. And she would laugh, and she would just like, when you kissed me that first time, it threw me completely off. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea you even really liked me. I mean, it was so out of the blue. And to me, I'd been thinking about it, you know, and when's the best time? Maybe I missed my chance. I realized there is no good time. In that moment of nervousness, as I'm standing there at her SUV, I was like, if you don't do it now, you'll never get a chance. So I just jumped her, went for it, attacked her. But it worked. And the point is that there's never a good time to act. You just got to jump in. They always say, don't wait to get into the pool. Just jump in. I used to take swimming lessons when I was younger and became a lifeguard and all that. And they would always, the swimming coach would always tell us to just jump in. Don't wade your way in, you know, when you just walk in slowly and put a toe in and you get your ankles wet and then your knees and you're sitting there like, ooh. We would go out on some cold mornings. It'd be 5 a.m., freezing cold. We'd have to jump in that pool, ice cold water. You just got to jump in. And I would hate it. But it always warmed up. There's never a good time to jump in that cold water. You just got to go. I hope that you get the point. This is all just food for thought. Thanks for watching.